Bonjour YouTube and welcome to another Poképlay Gym Challenge video. My name is Sebastian and I'll be leading you through the battle between the Ironlore Gym, which uses steel types exclusively, and the challenger Don Sushi. Before we get started, please make sure to like this video, and if you want to see more of my content, make sure to subscribe. The Poképlay Gym Challenge is where 8 competitive battlers use a mono team and we take on challenges to try and earn a badge. So we start off with Don Sushi. He has a lot of threats in Scrafty, Heracross, Gastrodon, Manectric, Gliscor and Murkrow. All of them have super effective attacks against my team except for the Murkrow, so it will be a big challenge. So let's get started. He leads off with the Murkrow, I lead off with the Mawile, thinking the Intimidate will take on any threat that he can throw at me, so I can set up a little bit and try a sweep from turn 1, but the Play Rough will be able to take out this Murkrow, so I just Mega Evolved and go for it, but he has the Prankster Substitute to scout out my moves. So yeah, he's behind the sub, and of course Play Rough misses. I miss every first turn attack. Second turn he just goes for the Foul Play, but it doesn't do that much to me, and Play Rough hits this time, taking out his sub, and at this point he thinks, okay, I can't keep on subbing, so I expected him to go into Gliscor, so instead of the Play Rough, I just went for the Fire Fang, hoping to get the Burn Hacks. But 10% hacks, it is little, it doesn't happen, he gets the poison, so from this point on he is ready to tank anything. I expect the Earthquake, so I switch into Bronzong, which has the Levitate, and Earthquake doesn't do anything, allowing me to set up my first screen, which is Reflect. I went for Reflect first because of Scrafty and Heracross, but he switches in Manectric instead. So at this point, he Mega Evolves into Manectric. I figured I could live one Flamethrower at least, and set up the light screen, but instead he goes for the Discharge, which is okay, not a bad choice, but as you can see I get the Para Hacks. It doesn't take me out, not at all. I can take it very nicely because I'm a special wall, and light screen protects the team now from all special attacks. Not really protect, but it reduces the damage. So he Volt Switches out while I go for the Earthquake. If he would have stayed in, Earthquake would have done a very nice amount of damage, but he goes into Scrafty, and Scrafty can take this Earthquake like a champ. So I have to switch out because Earthquake is my only attacking move. I don't have any status or anything. So, but Mawile can take any hit that Scrafty hits at my team, so it's a good switch in. He goes for the Bulk Up, but even with the Bulk Up, a Play Rough 4 times super effective will do a nice amount of damage. So he switches into Gliscor, and at this point, as you can see, the Play Rough did a lot. So I figured a second Play Rough would take him out, but he protected himself. But that means that with the with the Poison Heal recovery, Play Rough will not take this guy down, so I have to switch out. I expect the Earthquake again, so I switch into Empoleon, which has the Air Balloon, so Earthquake does not hit, and Ice Beam is threatening. I just go for Ice Beam in case he decides to switch in, but he switches into Gastrodon, and the Ice Beam does a decent amount, not really that much, but still enough. And yeah, he predicted me to switch out because he figured I didn't have the Grass Knot. I think he didn't know that I had Grass Knot, so he went for the Earth Power expecting a switch, but of course I have the Grass Knot, so I stay in, and my Air Balloon is still intact. And at this point I just wanted to finish him with the Grass Knot, but he switches out. He wants to save the Gastrodon for later, so switches into Heracross, takes the Grass Knot. I have to switch out here. So I go back into Bronzong thinking I could take the close combat, but what do you know, this is an adamant version. This is an adamant Heracross, and the close combat easily takes it out. So he has lowered defenses, but he raises the attack stat, and that's a big threat. So at this point I figured he could be Choice Scarf, but I'm not sure, so I'm gonna switch an Aegis Slash and go for the King Shield. If he goes for the Night Slash or for anything else, I will have myself protected. But he switches into the Murkrow, goes for the Substitute again, while I go for the Sacred Sword, just trying to see how much damage it really does to this little bird. And as you will see in this battle, this little bird does not die that easily, so at this point I figured the Foul Play would come, and I just went for the King's Shield. Now, I don't think that foul play is affected if Murkrow would have a -2 attack drop. I'm not sure. I think not. But I didn't figure that out during this battle. I figured it out afterwards. So, yeah. So at this point, I see that the foul play, it does do a decent amount of damage, even though I have only 50 base attack at this point without any boosts. And I wanted to take the opportunity to do a little bit of damage to this guy. And I predicted him to go for the foul play again. So these were some very bad turns to me. I don't really play that much against the Murkrow, so I don't really know how to counter it exactly. So I was just checking it out a little bit. And yeah, it just turns out that this Aegislash is not a good matchup against it. Foul play does too much, so I expect the foul play here. So this is the first turn of a good prediction. Foul play gets me the attack boost, and I know that Bullet Punch is faster than any prankster ability he has. I also have the extreme speed, and I wasn't sure what would do the most damage, but I think extreme speed would have done a little bit more, but in the end it would not have mattered. This bird is very bulky. With the Eviolite, I think it has a lot of defense investment, and yeah, so I really have to learn how to play against these kind of Pokemon. So I go into Mawile because the foul play doesn't do that much. I know that from earlier experience, and I just want to go for the play rough. He sacrifices his Gastrodon at this point because it has no use whatsoever, and now we can safely switch in his Heracross. Now, because I don't have Bronzong anymore, but anyway, Bronzong couldn't take any hit, but Aegislash can take a close combat. So I expect a close combat. I switch to Aegislash. He doesn't affect me, so he has to switch out now. Now here's where I made another mistake. At this point, most of his team members are still very high in HP levels, so going for a setup move was not the greatest idea. If I would just have gone for the Sacred Sword or a Shadow Sneak, I would have gotten some damage done on anything in his team, which would have been very nice in general. Now I just have to switch out without doing any damage, but I expected him to go for the Flamethrower, so I switch into Heatran. He goes for the Overheat, so Overheat would have taken out the Bronzong earlier in this game, but he didn't go for it. So that was a good thing. Now I have the Flash Fire boost. And the thing is, I usually use especially offensive Heatran, but this one is especially defensive. But with the Flash Fire boost, Fire Blast can still do a decent amount of damage to anything, and he switches in his Scraggy. And based on the damage that it did, I figured, okay, let's just stay in and keep on doing the Fire Blast, and we'll see what happens. And he goes for the Drain Punch, but I still live. This my especially offensive Heatran would not have lived this, but my especially defensive Heatran easily lives this, and the Fire Blast takes him out. So one major threat down, second major threat comes in, Heracross. I can't stay in, I have to switch out, but I expect him to go for the Dark type move because of the Aegislash switch earlier, and so I went into Mawile, and indeed he goes for the Night Slash. Awesome prediction, and I just figured to myself, okay, let's set up. Let's try to set up a sweep. I know that a Swords Dance, huge power of 252 Adamant Mega Mawile can do a lot of damage to anything, and here, because I always switched Mawile out against the Gliscor. I always did this. So here I thought, let's not do it this time and just go for an attack. But the Play Rough misses. But the second turn I go for the Sucker Punch because I thought, okay, Mawile is dispensable now, just go for the Sucker Punch, and I get the crit. So Gliscor dies eventually. If Play Rough would have hit, he would have died then. I get the crit, it's compensating. So here the Murkrow comes in with the Foul Play, takes me out. Like I said, I don't really know how to play against this Murkrow. I think I should have switched Mawile out at this point and keep it for this Pokemon later on. But in comes the Empoleon, and I was just banking on the fact that Ice Beam and Scald would do a decent amount of damage, especially if he would bring me down to 1/3 of my health or lower, because then Scald would do a lot more damage. So I figured he would switch out, so I went for the Agility. That was another misplay on my behalf, but he goes for the Swagger. I have very low IVs in attack, and I have Timid Nature, so my attack is pretty low. So even at this point, the Foul Play is not going to do that much damage, especially with the natural bulk that Empoleon has. But looking at the Scald, it does almost half, and I get the burn, which means that every skull I do now will do half his damage. Will do half damage because of the burn. He can't cleanse it, so that's good. That's good. So we are taking down this Murkrow, even though it's going very slow. It's very stallish at this point, but I don't care. I just keep spamming Scalds and Ice Beams. I didn't want to go for Ice Beam because he has the priority Roost, and if he roosts, he loses the Flying type, and Ice Beam wouldn't do that much, and Scald was solid 50% damage. So in my opinion, that was the better option. So yeah, we go for Scald. We keep going. This is very stallish. I'm sorry, but at this point. It's almost over. I switch out now because I still had, you know, I don't like confusion. I don't like the confusion hacks and that goes with it, and I just skipped out of it. And at this point, I just wanted to switch into Lucario with the extreme speed. He goes for the Swagger. I thought he would go for the Roost, but he goes for the Swagger. So now Lucario is confused with +2 attack, and the bird goes down. So his final two Pokemon, Heracross and Mega Manectric, still major threats, but for me the goal now is to get Heracross to lock himself into the proper moves. So if he locks himself into the Dark type move because of Aegislash, I can go into Lucario getting the boost. Night Slash would never KO me. If he goes for the close combat, I can go into Aegislash and set up, because at this point he has to switch out close combat. Choice Banded close combat, even though I'm at -1, will almost take down this Mega Manectric. Almost. I don't know if it mattered, if the damage calculation was min-maxing or anything, but it just didn't die. But doesn't matter. At this point, I can just switch in around because I still have 3 or 4 Pokemon left, and Polion is sacrificial at this point. So it was to scout out what move he would lock himself into. Like I said, if it would be close combat, I can set up with Aegislash. If it would have been Night Slash, I can set up with Lucario. I can just do damage with Lucario. So at this point, the game is coming to an end. I switch in my Aegislash, so I can go now easily for the Swords Dance with the Intimidate drop. It would put me at +1. And a +1 Shadow Sneak can easily outspeed and take out this Mega Manectric, like I will do right now. Yes, stance change and go Shadow Sneak. Bye bye Mega Manectric. Didn't do that much this battle, I think. Powerful Pokemon in general, but yeah, I constantly have to play around these things. So in comes the Heracross, and at this point a +1 Shadow Sneak will not KO, but I have the King Shield. He has to attack, he has to lock himself into an attack. So I'm being a little bit of an asshole right here, going for the King Shield, dropping his attack, allowing me to set up one more time with the Swords Dance. Like right now, as you can see, he goes to the Night Slash, but because of the -2 attack drop, it does nothing. I can set up with a Swords Dance, and at +3, a Sacred Sword will take this monster out. So here we go, Night Slash, unless it crits. It doesn't crit, I still live, and there goes the Sacred Sword. And that was his last Pokemon. Oh, it doesn't take him out. Okay, well, the movie is still taking bit, but the Shadow Sneak will. Sorry guys, yeah, it's a replay battle. It's been done a couple of days ago. It's 60 minutes long. I don't know anything that I don't know all the things that happens, but thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Links to our Poképlay Gym challenge is in the description below. You can subscribe and send us a mail. Until then, see you. Peace.